Okay, so I have seen a lot of videos, a lot of coming out videos. I did a piece on bullying a long while back, and look, equality, yeah. And I never did my own coming out story. I did it in school, and I used it for a paper. Didn't have exact dates and stuff, but now I do. I remember everything very clearly, and I'm ready to tell my story. My name is Ricky. I am gay, and I have been out since I was 14. It's a little background about me. I come from a impoverished family. I was born in Ohio and partially raised there until I was about 7. And then around, somewhere between 7 and 8, we moved to Indiana. My mom was kicked out for doing stuff with the governor's son at the time. And I know it's not a lot of people, but we got kicked out, and I had to leave what I called home. We have moved probably 30 times within the time span of 8 years old to 14 years old. My mother is from a Southern Baptist background, and her father was a Southern Baptist preacher. My mom was very rebellious when she was younger, and she decided that she wasn't going to be a part of that family as much, and instilled herself with better values. So I thought. When I was younger, she would have me get up and get her cigarettes. She would... another quick thing. She has muscular dystrophy. She's bipolar and manic depressant. And I think there's a little schizophrenia there too. But she and my dad should have thought twice before having kids, because she tried to raise my sister for, I think, the first couple weeks of her life, and failed, horribly failed. She was taken away by my aunt and my grandfather, the Southern Baptist preacher. My dad, on the other hand, is agnostic. He's very quiet, was a sniper, and when you really made him mad, you knew he made it mad, because he would have you pinned up against the wall. I have a brother, and he is 11 months older than me, and we never got along either. He always knew I was gay and called me a faggot and queer and just lots of different names, and it hurt a lot. when I was 14 and a half. Well, 14, and it was probably January. Or, yeah, January. I decided that I wanted to come out to my family. And I have a gay uncle and a gay aunt on my dad's side, and everybody seems to be okay with that. So I thought it'd be fine. I thought I would, tell my mom and she'd be like, I knew it, I always knew it, and I'm so happy for you, and well, when am I going to meet a boyfriend? It wasn't the case at all. I went into the kitchen. She was sitting on a chair smoking a cigarette, and I said, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I don't, and I just keep doing that, and she's like, for fuck's sake, just tell me. And I'm like, you probably already knew this. And she's like, what? You have another girlfriend, or you're like smoking cigarettes? What? I was like, well, I kind of have these weird feelings. I don't know how to explain them. And she's like, what kind of feelings? And I'm like, well, I think I'm gay. And she's like, she takes a minute and she starts crying. And I don't know if this is tears of happiness or if this is tears of anger or sadness that I'm gay. I ask her and I say, what's wrong? And she literally looks at me and says, you can't be a faggot. There's no way. And she starts quoting things out of the Bible, and I'm like, who are you to say stuff from the Bible when you left your family for that very reason? Why? And you have a gay brother-in-law and a gay sister-in-law. I mean, what? How could you think like that? And why? And she's like, I have my reasons. And she's like, I tell her, that boys turn me on, and she's like, you're sick. You're a faggot, and you're going to hell. And I was like, really just sidetracked, because this is not what I expected to happen. This is not what I had in my mind that she would say. So I go to her the next day, and she's still angry and not wanting to talk to me, and I'm like, I think it was just a phase. Well, I don't know how to deal with stuff very well, or I didn't at the time, and so I started drinking, and I started smoking weed, and tripping balls, and just, I don't want to feel anything because every time I do, it blows up in my face. So I go back in the closet. This leads to a downward spiral. I'm put into a detention facility for youth, and then I am put into residential foster care, where again there was one person there that knew me since I was 10, and I told him I liked him in a different way, and apparently he didn't like it. So we're in residential foster care together, and he makes up with her. One of which I didn't want people to know at the time, because when you're around a bunch of horny teenage straight boys, testosterone is flying, and it can go south quick. One night I'm in my bed and I'm just sitting there playing Game Boy, and I hear my house father come on the line, and he's like, "Rick M.L., I need to see you right now." And the same thing just after that, same thing comes on, and "Jake, yada yada, I need to see you as well." And we both go, and we're like, we don't know what it could be, and apparently somebody said that we were doing stuff with each other in our bedroom, which was 100% not true. And I am kind of fine, taking it not as hard as Jake. Jake's like blubbering mess, and attempts to kill himself within the first night. We're put in the WISP unit, which is like Flights Intensive Supervision Program. Put in orange jumpsuits, and we're not allowed to have anything at all. Like, even our clothing was almost taken away from us. So we deal with that. He goes into the hospital for a psychotic breakdown while in WISP, and I'm not allowed to go to school for a week. So he comes back, and then we start school again. I start walking through the hallways, and I hear murmurs, and I hear so many things about me, which, to their knowledge, isn't true, but I was going through some rough stuff, and I did not want to identify as gay, or even bi. It just wasn't in my mind. So, when I start walking through the hallways, I hear faggot, queer, fudge packer, anal raper, and I drop to my knees, and I just start crying. I can't stop. I can't stop. One of the counselors comes in and to the hallway her comes out to the hallway and she's like, what's wrong? Yeah, I'm like, I can't go on. And that just gets me put back in WISP. So I'm in WISP for a day and I don't want to live anymore. I just want it to end. I want the suffering and the pain to end. It hurts to be called names, to not have a choice in what you are, what you're called, because some testosterone-driven straight guys, some questioning, some not. Want to pick a fight. I'm not going to fight. So I go back to WISP and I attempt to kill myself at least 5 or 6 times. Sorry. 5 or 6 times. And getting closer the last time. Much, much closer. And I get put into a mental hospital for, I think, 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks. And they think that I have depression and that I'm manic as well and all this and that. And I'm like, there's a cause here. Do you see that? I don't want to go back to White's. I want you to get me the hell out of there. And they're like, we'll see what we can do. That it doesn't work out. I go back to White's, and eventually I'm given the option of whether to go home, do independent living, or go to a foster family. I had seen my parents once a month, pretty much every month. I had seen them once a month. And sometimes it was to actually go home. My mom kind of saw this as like reforming me. Like it's gonna make me straight. It's gonna make me stronger. Woman didn't know what the hell she was talking about. So they say they're doing these amazing things and that they're more accepting, or my mom says she's more accepting and that she just really wants me home. I get home and about, let's say, a month later. It's now March and I'm 16, I think. It might be 15. Yeah. It's actually July, and I'm about to turn, or I've just turned 16. We get into a big fight. I call her at home. I'm at practice for choir, and let her know that I really want to talk to her. And she asks me, "What about?" And I said, "I'll let you know when I get home." So finish up practice and get my mind off of it for a little while. I go home and kind of do like the kids thing, the antsy, like stand around, just kind of pace back and forth. And she's in the kitchen doing really want to talk to you about. And I've been like really worried over it because it's something that we had talked about in the past. I don't know if you still feel the same way. And she's like, what? This is about cigarettes? Because I don't mind if you smoke. Wonderful mother. I don't mind if you smoke. And I'm like, no. Is this about the ex-girlfriend that you had? I guess getting back together, like, because we had talked about it before when I was in Whites. And I said I might get back together with her, and I was like, no, that's not it. And she's like, then just fucking spit it out, is what she said. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I know for a fact that I'm gay. And she gets off the chair and crawls to her bedroom on her knees. And I walk in the door. And she's really sad and like, I don't understand, because I thought this like been taken care of finally. Like she said she was more accepting of me. It's a two-faced lie to get me to come home and take care of her and do everything for her. So she grabs a cigarette and she's really not wanting to talk to me, crawls back out to the kitchen. And she says, how long have you known? And I was like, don't you remember? I told you when I was 14. And she's like, oh yeah. Well, I know you're just going through phase, so I'm not even going to worry about this. And I was like, what do you mean a phase? This is who I am, and nobody's going to change me, and nobody's going to degrade me anymore. And she starts quoting from the Bible, and I kind of did that like walk away, and then like I was gonna turn around and like come at her again. In the 3 seconds that I turn around, I feel something go right by my ear, and she threw a coffee cup at me. There's this great big 7 by 4 foot window behind me, and as soon as I feel it hit my ear, I just go and close my eyes, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm dead. I'm dead. There's like no way that I could live after this experience. That glass is going to shatter, and it's going to cut my neck off. Or I'm going to have like shards embedded in my head and in my back. By the grace of Goddess, only little tiny shards just got on my shoulder, on my shirt, and I turn around and I go, what the fuck was that for? And she's like, I don't want to discuss this right now. I'm like, we have to discuss this. And she's like, what? We have to discuss that you're a faggot? That you're going straight to hell? That nobody is ever going to love you? And and that you're gonna end up dead? And I said, yeah, I'm gay, whatever. And this infuriated her more. And I walked to my bedroom and I hop on the computer and slam my door, and I don't want to talk to her anymore. I figured like this will just cool down. I'm talking to this guy I've never met. Actually, I'm talking to two different people that I've never met on Yahoo Chat. And I tell the one about what had just happened. I actually do tell them both, not in succession of each other. I tell this guy Michael, and he's like, is there anything I can do for you? Is it like, do you want me to talk to your mother? And I'm like, no. Why would you want to talk to her? Like, she really doesn't like gay people, apparently. And like I said, I'm sitting there. She takes a screw, like a knife, and puts it in the door. Opens it, cigarette in her mouth, and she's like, "You need to leave right now." And I'm like, "What do you mean leave?" "You need to pack your shit, and you need to leave my house right now." Like, why? I don't want some faggot living under my roof. Your dad doesn't bust his ass for some faggot to live under our roof. And I'm not gonna lie, I shove her out of my room, slam the door, and I cry my eyes out. And I start packing. I'm happy, partially, because it's over. I don't have to deal with her. But I'm really sad because I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know what to do. I'm 16. I just turned 16. So it's now August. When this all takes place. And the guy that I have been talking to for quite a few years. Well, not quite a few. that's in bad terms. I had been talking to since I was 13 or 14. Because that's what you do when you're on your chat. You just chat with people. You don't ever expect it to go anywhere. And he's like, well, why don't you move up here to Northern California with me? And I'm like, sure. I have nowhere to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have money saved up. That's about it. And I tell my friend Alan about this, and he's like, he's bad news. Don't go up there. He's a creeper. Well, at the time they called it a creepy guy. peeper is a new term. And that it's very unsafe for you to go up there. So I move in with this guy, who I find out is just as bad. Everybody has an ulterior motive, even if they say they don't. I had many other experiences after that, but I can say that I'm 29, very happy, sometimes alone, but I'm not lonely. I can make a friend on a dime, and everything that I've been through has strengthened me. It's made me feel amazing about myself, the good and the bad added together. It makes me. I don't think I ever would have learned how to not manipulate people and not lie unless I went through these experiences. 25 is when I started noticing the things that I was doing to other people. I didn't like it. I really, really, really didn't like it. It's just the way I was brought up, to not care about anybody and to do what you can to get your own way. So what I'm trying to say is my coming out story is in a way like others, but it's my own coming out story. And my advice to you is that if you're ever in the position that I was in, or you feel lost, you have somebody to talk to. I'm right here for you. You can video message me, or you can instant message me on YouTube. I'll be there for you. I've been there. I've been through a lot more than my coming out story, and I can tell you some big stories that will make you happy to be wherever you're at in life. And if not, I can help you get through it, and I can help get you out of that situation that you're in. Please subscribe and let me know what you think. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend and a great week. I'm Ricky, and this is my coming out story.